nice introduction. Hello, sixth graders. You guys look fantastic, and you're a very, very hard act to follow. It's the last time I can say hello, sixth graders to you guys. But I wonder if you can remember how much you wanted to be sixth graders. Do you remember being in kindergarten and seeing those giant people at the other end of the school? These people who could draw faces that looked like actual human faces in art class, and who could walk by themselves to TCBY and could kick a ball about a mile. And maybe you don't remember that far back. Maybe you only remember last year when you were fifth graders, and the sixth graders were in charge of field day, and they were so la-dee-da, look at us, we're sixth graders, we get to boss you around, and you're the maggots, the fifth graders, and you were just thinking, someday that's going to be me. You dreamed of being sixth graders, and now you're in a big hurry to be done with it. It's not much longer now, you just have to listen to me talk for a minute. I'm going to ask you to slow down just a second and take a moment to think, as clearly you have from your speeches, about all the things you've learned here. You've learned how to walk in a neat line on the third tile. You never know when that might come in handy. You've learned how to stack cups very quickly. You've learned cakewalking at the fall festival. Memorized an American hero script. I could talk about all the mathematical formulas you've mastered, all the words you can spell now, the state capitals you know, the German folk songs you can sing. Thank you, Dr. Brody. Some of you can remember drawing cartoons or writing stories for the Marvel News. Some of you have learned a lot of Beatles songs. Most of you have done Brave's Helping Hands. A lot of you probably remember your principal kissing a live pig. Or my favorite memory, your sixth grade dance at the variety show. I always loved that. Most importantly, though, you've learned how to be respectful and kind. You can't imagine yet, and maybe if you're lucky you'll never learn, but lots of people never learn to be respectful and kind, and you already know it. You've learned how to work hard and how to have fun together and how to get along with people who aren't exactly like you. And all this could not have happened to a nicer group of young people. I've known a lot of you since you were tiny, and others I've met more recently along the way. And I can say that this is one of the best groups of sixth graders Belinder Elementary School has ever seen. While you were here, though, something's happened to you that you may not have noticed, but all the older people here, the teachers and Mr. Yeoman and your parents, we've noticed, and they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You guys have changed from people who were not much bigger than babies into people who are very close to being grown up. And when you got to kindergarten, you were not far removed from diapers. Some of you closer than others. And when you walk out of here, you're not far from driving a car. This is a huge amount of change to happen in one life, in one place. And it's thrilling. Imagine the possibilities that lie ahead for you. I hope you are imagining all the possibilities. You've accomplished so much. Some of you have aced all your tests. Some of you have won walls full of trophies. Some of you are musicians. Some of you are artists. Some in this class are gifted in other ways. Some of you have a gift for kindness. Some of you have a special eyesight that lets you see the best in other people. Some of you are resilient, which means you bounce back up when life knocks you down. Some of you are sensitive. You know just what to say, when to say it, how to say it, when a friend is hurting. Some of you are hilarious. I've witnessed this. Thank you, funny people. And some of you know how to be loyal friends to the class clowns who go a little bit too far, saying or doing something stupid. Some of you radiate joy. Every time I've been around this class over the past 7 years, I've left with a smile on my face. My point is, you have so many talents, and we have been so blessed to watch you develop them. Long ago, when I was in 6th grade, we were all desperately trying to be the same. But I'm so glad that you guys are willing to be yourselves. Yesterday, I told my daughter I wouldn't embarrass her by telling any stories about her, but as you've just seen, Clara actually likes being the center of attention. So, when Clara was in kindergarten, which was not long after we moved to Kansas City, she had Mrs. Porter for her teacher, and that was a match made in heaven. I think most, if not all of us parents, can be thankful today for at least one of these heavenly matches. This school has so many great teachers. Anyway, near the end of the year, Mrs. Porter at a conference told us that Clara was going to be an actress someday and would shine her star on Broadway. This was a revelation to me. I had no idea. And I still marvel at this, that this teacher could see a child's dreams before she had even dreamed them. That's the kind of school Belinder is. Now, you're not going to believe this because I'm so old and bald and blah, 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 but I do remember being in your place on the last day of 6th grade at Lynn Knoll Elementary School in Aurora, Colorado. We didn't have a graduation ceremony, but the tradition there was that the teachers would play the 6th graders in softball. And our principal, Miss Fagan, despite being rather large, Miss Fagan always played outfield. And instead of a glove, she would use a laundry basket to catch fly balls. Anyway, I remember being your age. I was desperately in love with a girl who was just too perfect even to speak to. I'd get a sick feeling in my stomach when I looked at her, which was all the time. I had these stupid, ugly shoes that my mother made me wear. I remember being terrified that I was going to get to middle school and not remember my locker combination. I remember hearing about something called swirlies, where 8th graders would grab a 7th grader and hold them upside down with their head in the toilet and then flush. I was terrified of swirlies. Now, I gotta say, I'm pretty sure swirlies don't actually exist, but anyway, I've been there, now I'm here, and I can give you 2 pieces of advice. Number 1, I mentioned how scared I was. Try not to be scared. I'm going to let you in on a secret. Every adult in this room is looking at you guys and thinking to themselves, I am so glad I don't have to go through that again. The process that you guys are in the middle of, turning from kids into grown-ups, is crazy and weird and hard, physically, emotionally, every way you can think of. But listen to me, you guys, you're halfway through it and you're doing great. You're going to make some mistakes, just try not to make big ones. And you'll be grown before you know it. Relax, and like Miss Fleming, be chill. All right. Advice number 2, hold on to that kid you used to be. You have your entire lives to be grown-ups. But these years at Belinder and in elementary school have been your only chance to be little. Hold on to that person. Have you flown to Mars on a playground swing lately? Do it. Or talk to your favorite doll. Check up on what she or he is doing lately. Turn in circles until you fall down. Do a crazy dance. Believe in magic. This can be a hard day for your parents, I'll tell you. We're so proud of you, and yet we really do miss those beautiful little children that we dropped off on the first day of school years ago. So keep those kids alive for us. Keep them alive by dreaming large dreams, by laughing deep belly laughs, by forgiving and forgetting in the blink of an eye, by looking at the world with wonder and amazement. Because I'll tell you, inside every happy grown-up, there lives a little kid. Thank you, Godspeed, and remember, it's always great to be a brave.